Turn.
Yeah, I'm measuring.
He's doing the math.
Yeah. So you're moving at half pace, so you can move 5 meters, or you can, move and then run with your action 10 meters.
Well, he chooses to throw Felix.
That's what I was about to say.
As far as he can throw.
Like a fucking javelin.
My thought process. He's dead anyways. Anyways.
He's not dead.
Well, okay. At this point, I see Fisher probably.
Yeah, you see probably like the lights from his helmet, like just shining upward.
I'm like, Oscar, pick up Fisher on the way out.
Wait, what?
You'll see when you come around the corner. And I'd like to shoot a bat.
Right, which bat?
One of the two in front of me.
Okay, sure.
Whichever one looks like it's latched onto Fisher's neck.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. The one that's bending down to drink his blood. Sure.
AC 5, correct?
Yes, AC of 5. Oh, I did have a Felix token. There you go. Yeah.
I think I killed a bat.
You do indeed. The bat its head just melts off of its form. And let's see how many. Okay, perfect. Exactly. So Dr. Fisher is safe from getting attacked.
Blood or Fisher's blood?
Actually, that should probably be over a little
bit.
Yes is the answer.
Whoa.
So, is that it for you, Fortune? You're just hustling out?
Yeah.
I realized that I shouldn't have done that because I already had that stuff, but... So that brings us to Oscar. It's your turn.
Okay. He's concerned that Fisher has dropped based on what Fortune said and radio silence from Fisher after the fact. So we are gonna... Oh wait, well I'm not. Fuck. What do I even want to do? I'm gonna move at least to where I can see, and then I'm gonna try and attack one of the bats. Hopefully they follow me and don't just latch onto Go-Go in unison. But
have 2 of us, 3 of us down.
I am not a bat psychologist, so I don't know what they're gonna do. But I walk that way, like kind of swatting him away as I do it, and fuck yeah, he's gonna take a pot shot at one of them with his monoblade.
Right, AC of 5. I would really like you to hit this.
I think Go-Go would really like you to hit this.
Oh, I sure do.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Is there splash damage on that? Can we?
There. Not yet.
Not yet. So you slice the bat in half. That's over Fisher, right? That's the one you were targeting.
Sure. Let's do that one.
Okay.
No, I was actually attacking one of
Perfect.
the ones that was over by.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if they like followed me or whatever, but one of the original 3 that was like around Go-Go.
You could have also like attacked and then moved, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So one of those, just because if Chan continues to go feral, I don't think that it's gonna help matters.
Yeah. So with that being said, and that kind of concluding your turn here.
Yeah.
We get to the Thune Bats. Now, their numbers have been severely decimated. And the reason why I wanted you to hit that is because they have a limitation here of how much they're willing to... whether or not the prey is too dangerous. And the prey is too dangerous.
We broke their morale.
So
Yeah.
you see this one flies into one of the caverns. These two fly up the hole where the big one came away from. This one kind of like swarms around Chan. He tries to grab at it, and it flies away. And this one, well, leaving you with no bats any longer.
Of course they'd run off on the last turn that they died.
However, we are not out of combat yet. For two reasons. One, Dr. Fisher is dying. And two, there's a Chan problem.
Yay!
Good luck, Gogo.
Yep.
So Gogo, it's your turn.
Yeah, seeing the bats disappear, I immediately go up to Chan and
Not smart.
start. But you know what? Doesn't matter. That's what I would do. And try to get his attention. Not gonna touch him, obviously. I'm just gonna continue to just say, Chan, look at me, Chan, and like try to like get him. But if he like goes to lunge at me, obviously, I'm keeping my distance. I'm at least keeping like an arm's distance away from him.
Yeah. So he he whirls around, and you can hear through the comms now that like the blood isn't pumping in all of your ears, you can hear through the comms this like this breathing sound, but it's very ragged and very hoarse. And you can tell it's coming from Chan. And you're trying to calm him again?
Yeah, I'm just trying to calm him down and just get him to like focus on me and realize like the threat's
Sure.
gone. The threat's gone. Just it's
Yeah.
okay.
You want to roll that that check again for me? That persuasion with charisma?
Yeah. Ugh.
Expert.
Heck yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice roll. Very nice roll. So,
Whew.
as Chan turns to you, and you have your hands like up, like in a calming, like I'm not a threat motion?
Yeah, like it's okay.
Um,
Both of them are kind of like up, palms down.
Yeah, and you can hear he's got the bat now by the legs, because that's the better place to grab, and you can hear the bones crunching as his fist closes, and he advances towards you in like a menacing form, and his head like twitches, and then he takes another step forward, and his head like twitches again, and then I think that he growls one last time and like lunges for you, but as he takes that next step, you see his eyes glaze over, and he collapses like into your arms, unconscious.
Yeah, so I think Goga goes to that moment of holy shit. Oh, okay. And just like grabs him and like hugs him tight, and then immediately starts to try to book it towards
Yeah.
everybody.
Half of the party is getting carried out.
That's what I was just about to say. Is we are
Oh my
literally at
God.
50-50 conscious right now.
So, Gogo, you still have all of your movement if you would like to
So
move
I can go,
like
like,
5
5,
meters.
right?
Yeah. And I think you have control of Chan, right? You can just move him with you.
Yeah. Okay, so I can get right up where Fortune is.
And again, we're still in combat turn because people are dying. Something needs to be done to them. Right. Actually, Gogo, you still have an action technically.
You can move another 5.
Yeah, you could move another 5 meters if you'd like, or you could
Or,
do a
like,
check
last
or
patch.
something like that.
No, I got-
I don't have last patches.
Add a character, I have Fisher covered.
I don't even know if that would actually work
Hmm.
on Chan, actually. So even if I did have one,
So something you could do is you could roll a medicine check, right, to like see what you might need to do to stabilize Chan.
sure. Yeah, I would imagine I'd be doing that as I'm running anyway, so that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, so why don't you do a medicine with intelligence check? Because this is more taking into account his condition and not necessarily his injuries.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you know that a last patch, just based on the way it works, because it uses a circulatory system, would
Right.
not be useful on Chan. However, there's a way that you kept him in stasis before that might be useful. But there is one other. There's one person that has that kind of utility, and he's currently unconscious.
Quick, get Fisher up.
But so here's the other part is when people are stabilized, they don't recover. So
Yeah.
you might have to go digging in Fisher's bag and hope you pull out the right one.
I mean, I remember what color it was, right?
Uh-huh.
I
Blue.
mean,
I know enough.
it
I know
was
enough about
glowing blue.
medicine.
It's
Gogo
I-
actually has quite a
I
bit
actually
of
do
I
know
will-
a thing about medicine.
Right. We will cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Chan has been unconscious for 1 round.
I've
Fortune,
been
it is your
unconscious
turn.
for 2.
Not quite. On your turn, you've been unconscious for 2. Oh, no, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2. Apologize. It does matter based on, like, the difficulty of last patches and stuff like that. You're just booking it, Fortune?
Yep, just 10 movement.
Okay. Yeah, just... Felix. Felix is surprisingly light, actually. For like, a grown man. He probably only weighs, like, $150. He's a pretty wiry individual.
All right, then this is relatively easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not like difficult, and you have your pistol out and you're like scoping corners and stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Oscar.
Yeah, he, he probably looks back to see what the hell is going on with Chan and like sees that he's at least not a threat and that Gogo's dealing with him.
I assume Gogo is
So-
like piggybacking him because Chan, on the other hand,
Yeah.
is very heavy.
That's exactly what I was typing.
like-
I was like, can we just also picture Tiny Gogo, trying to fucking heft Chan on
Yeah.
her back? Like,
Chan's like 5'9",
imagining
but
it.
he's literally like 0% body fat. Like,
oh, muscle.
yeah.
I'm imagining like just his shoulders across her back and his feet and legs dragging
Yeah,
like
that's-
2
Yeah,
lines
like-
behind her.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so Oscar sees that and he tries maybe he has like he's halfway to a chuckle and then he remembers Fisher's been downed and he goes over, kind of like turns him over, sees that he's
Yeah.
actually pretty bad for wear, and attempts the same thing that he did for Felix. So he's at the stage where like he doesn't quite even understand why this works himself. He just knows that he has some ability to like
Mend wounds, right?
yeah, so he's does the same thing. He puts his hands on his chest and he maybe says a little prayer inside his head, and then he he didn't really have to move at all for that. So I think whatever the rest of his action is throwing Fisher over his shoulder and
Yep. Yeah, you can
joining
move like
the caravan.
another like 3 meters or whatever to fall in behind Fortune. Yeah, so luckily for Dr. Fisher, he's only been down for 2 rounds. But Dr. Fisher, you were exposed again. So can you roll me another physical effect save?
So another fail then, right?
I believe in you.
Will, you gotta believe harder. Oh, no.
This is why I don't believe, Megan. This is why I don't believe.
14s are pretty hard. The odds are not great.
Hey, Will, welcome back. It is tradition that I just end you every time you come back to a game as punishment. Okay, so you pick Dr. Fisher up, and then you fall in behind Fortune. Gogo, it's your turn. Chan is still not technically stabilized.
I don't actually have control over his token, so we're just going to say he's with me until such point it matters.
Yes. Just move with Oscar Fisher.
Okay.
Good job.
Oh, I can't.
Do you shout to Oscar about the problem now?
Sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I would move when I can, I guess.
Gogo, would you rather take Fisher?
No, I don't care who I carry, but I need to get into Fisher's bag.
Oh. He like just,
Just toss me the bag.
yeah, he just yanks it off, like he
Yeah,
kind of
so like
psychic snips it off Fisher's back with his monoblade and
yeah,
floats it over to.
mechanically what could happen here is Gogo, you could prepare an action to dig through it and find the right stim. And
'Cause I
on
know
Oscar's
it's-
next turn, he could levitate it to
Yeah.
you, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's what my goal is. So.
Dr. Fisher, you're no longer dying. Chan has been out for 2 rounds now. Fortune, it's your turn.
Oh wait, Chan still needs attention.
We moving.
That's why she was shouting at you to stop, because she needs in Fisher's bag, because Chan is still dying.
Shit, I saw the tech med skill check and I thought I just like spaced for a moment.
No, that was for me to figure out what was
Yeah.
actually going to save
It-
him.
Oh,
because I
shit,
didn't
okay.
remember.
Yeah, because if you would have tried to last patch him, no matter what you did,
Nothing
it wouldn't have
would've
worked,
happened.
right?
Yeah.
Because it requires a circulatory system.
It's okay. We got it. It's fine.
Chan doesn't
We get-
technically have one of those.
We'll get there.
Okay. So, Fortune, you're just hoofing it around the corner.
Oh yeah, pistol ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Oscar, so you can levitate it over to her and then move, continue
just-
walking with Dr. Fisher.
Yeah, if we're both just standing here, if I expect she says no, he needs attention, I would just stop and let her do her thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know,
So
we're-
Gogo,
Turn order right this second isn't that important, so long as we don't miss turns entirely.
for Chan
So-
it is, but yes.
Yeah, for Chan it's fairly critical.
So Gogo, because of your readied action, quote unquote, you can roll. I think it's gonna be Tech Med again to identify the stims in Dr. Fisher's bag. And
Int again.
int, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's identifying. It's not hard to see them; it's hard to know what they are.
Hell, yes.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
did the thing.
Yeah, you. In
She
fact,
got-
I think that you dump out the bag and just the right one falls into your hand immediately. Like you don't even need to look any
It's
further.
like freaking glittering,
Yeah,
like it does when the right item in a video game has been found.
yeah. I was kind of hoping that it would be worse though, because then, because he has a couple here, that could have been funny.
Steroid.
Jesus Christ.
So that's
super hopped up crazy Chan on roids.
Yeah. So, it's the system that is the one that maintains him in a state of, a state of okayness. So you pull it out, and then on your turn, obviously, you just jam it right into him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't really take a check. You just slam it into his leg, into his thigh, or into his chest, or whatever. And so Chan doesn't breathe anymore. But that the strange kind of twitching that Chan was doing calms down, and you see the aura again surround him
I
and
also
keep him
check
in
his
that.
eyes because you said that they were black before.
Yeah.
Are they not black anymore?
So yeah, you open up his eyelids and you shine a light in there, and they, as the stim, so they are normal-ish. They're a little bit dilated because it's dark in here, obviously. But they're not glassed over in death, and they're not all fully blacked out anymore. Maybe that's because of the stim. Maybe it's because of you got through to him. His mental acuity was tested and he passed. But he is reserved in the state that he's, or I should say, preserved in the state that he is in currently right now. For what is it? An hour?
hours.
12 hours? 12 hours. So more than enough time to get him back to the ship. And
Good. Great.
since everybody is now no longer dying, you're no longer in turn order. So, you may continue your exit out of the caverns at free pace, however fast you want to move. Fortune For Fortune, it appears to be pretty fast.
I was gonna say, I mean, we could just teleport to the ship, and I'd be okay with that.
I mean, where
I mean,
would the
we
fun in
could,
that be?
but that's not going to be the end of it.
Where would the fun in that be? It's not stressful if you all just survive for funsies. So you get to
So
the
just to be
exit.
clear, we're not taking one of these big things, right?
Who would take one of these big things?
Who's
I
Oscar
was-
knows that they're very. Oh god, the trash is
Oh,
I
God,
mean, that
it's
is a bit
collapsing.
big.
Not that big thing. Not that big thing.
Run.
I grabbed the wrong thing, but it made it funny.
Wasn't there like shit? Which it was like a Jim Henson creation that was like the Trash Muppet. It's like a giant pile of trash that was sentient, and I'm either hallucinating or this is just a weird childhood memory that's coming back to me now.
So you all emerge from the caverns. Remember, Felix's ship is here, and it's wired, right? It's wired to blow, but you've got bigger fish to fry, I think, at this point. And remember, your ship is to the south. There is an exit to the east, however, though.
But our ship is to the south.
Correct. And you can continue moving at your own pace.
I think Oscar would just turn to Gogo and say, if we don't take one of those back with us, is this all in vain for him?
If he wakes up, he sure will see it as that, yeah.
It's your call right now, but
How easy would it be for you to, she kind of like puts her fingers to her head, pretending like she's moving shit with her mind?
if I didn't have to worry about Fisher, I could roll it out. Let's get everyone back on the ship.
You know where they are now. You can always come back.
Yeah.
Gogo just nods and keeps moving forward.
So because I was up before, I don't know if I'm going the right way.
You are. Yeah, trudging through the swampy stuff here, like the used chemical fumes and all kinds of nastiness. So, the group of you, when you get to right about there, have successfully navigated your way out of the Devil's Bend.
Yay! Only half of us did.
So,
I don't know if successfully is the word we're looking for here, but
let me copy.
Well, it wasn't a fail, so it was a success.
yeah, let's go with that.
I mean, in the broadest terms, those are the only two options.
So, when the group of you gets back to the ship, very big on this map now. Actually, make it small. This is simply for visual purposes, of course. Oha. That is somebody I don't have. What did I spell her token name? Let's see. Hey, I was smart about it. Okay.
Oh god, I found the things.
So
Run, guys!
Boom.
Nothing. It's just
Yeah, she found my little hidey hole because it's a
a
roll
monster
20.
pit.
Yeah, it's a roll
Yeah.
20 thing where I have to keep them in a specific area to then get them on initiative order and not make it look stupid. So anyway, so the group of you gets back on the ship and you rejoin Oha, who begins worriedly looking over the 3 limp dead figures essentially. And so feel free to move about the ship and bring them all to medbay, obviously. But I think Gogo, you're gonna have to do it here because Dr. Fisher is a little out of commission currently.
Yep. Dr. Gogo, apparently.
So because you guys don't have an advanced medbay, so you can't just bring people back. So the most probable, like, easiest way to get people back up is just a single day of rest. Will grant them 1 HP. But Chan doesn't have a day. So you might have to dig through your resources, and one of you burns a med pack to try and get Fisher up so that he can do something about Chan, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm going to use a med kit on Fisher so that
Okay.
he can assess my dad and...
Yeah, so why don't you roll... So in this case, it's going to be a medicine with dexterity, which is great for you. But it's because you literally have to stitch up Fisher's wound. Who is stable, by the way. For him.
That's a success.
Well, I don't have my reroll, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, why don't you roll 2d6 for me?
Oh my god, a fucking minimum.
Yeah.
He's gonna feel it for a while, but he's
Yeah. So Dr. Fisher, you're lying on the main medical bed, right? And your eyes slowly flutter open, and you see Gogo, who's got like her giant fucking claws out, and she's snipping some thread like right next to your face.
Yeah, I think I just end up turning my face to the side and just throwing up. Because I've got a lot of things wrong with me right now.
Yeah, you do. You have a lot of shit on you.
Rough night, Dr. Phil? It's okay, we're gonna get you right stitched. We're gonna get you right stitched up. just give me another couple seconds here. Just it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be perfectly fine.
Yeah, you feel like butt, Dr. Fisher.
Yeah, so I think as I slowly get up, my bag's obviously still on the side. I think I rummage around for patch stim, not the steroid stim, but
Yeah.
and just inject it in just to give me a little respite for like an hour.
Yeah, the patch stim mechanically, what does that do again?
It was something very minor, but we didn't actually fully go into detail on what he did.
I would say probably roll a d6. You can gain that much health back. Seems
Makes you
fair
feel
for now.
less like butt.
Yeah,
Is that what the description is?
correct. There you go.
Those threes.
Doubled your health total.
Okay, how's everyone else? Ow.
As you look around the med bay, and like there's 2 people that are being hooked up to monitors, and
Oh, you see.
so here's the deal. Nobody's really checked on Felix and his condition.
Well, now that I've gotten Fisher up, that would be my next
Yeah.
popping off his cracked
Yeah.
hood and
I
seeing
mean,
what's going on.
I can obviously see the blue film over Chan, so
Yeah, correct.
I know that I have some time for him.
Yeah. So when you go over to Felix, Gogo, he's been, Fortune's dumped him off and he's safe in the bed now. But when you go over to him and you take the helmet off, you see, and you've definitely seen this type of these type of wounds before, but it's clearly like acid burn, almost covering like all of his. He's probably missing like most of his upper lip. His nostrils are flared out and probably laced with this like acid burn. His teeth that you can see are probably worn down, and his gums are almost eroded away from just inhaling the toxic atmosphere as long as he has. And his eyebrows are singed off, like his hairline is singed off. All of it is it's really bad. Like, it's really bad. No one really likes to live on Thune, to be fair. But this is probably the most severe case you've ever seen. And that's not even determining like what's wrong with his lungs at this point, right? However, when you walk up, you see that there is just the faintest hint of breathing. It's ragged, and he's stable, but he's not out of the woods. Like, he's gonna require extensive surgery, which could just kill him in general, right? Whatever Oscar did kind of maintained what very small life was left inside of Felix. But I think I said stable, but I don't think that's the right word for it. He is medically alive, in the same sense when they call people medically dead. And you know, Dr. Fisher, that you probably don't have the equipment on board to deal with what Felix needs right now.
Yeah.
In fact, there are probably very few places in the sector that could deal with what he needs right now. Maybe if you had an advanced med bay, you might be able to do some preliminary work and start on some stuff, but at this point, it's going to be keep him alive as long as possible. You know, he's gonna drain your resources. You're gonna have to, like, you know, you're gonna have to feed him with fluids, and basically he's in a state of, it's like a very severe burn victim, right? Where they can't really do anything. They're just kind of there. He is currently unconscious.
Yeah, he's gonna be under unhappy juice until we get him to a real hospital.
Right. Yeah, that's the status here. What's going on? But he is miraculously somehow alive, and I think that Gogo, you have the most expertise with that. But Dr. Fisher, obviously, you're not a medical doctor, but you have trained in biology to some degree. He has no right to be alive right now. With the extensive damage, probably internally, as well as the external damage, he's again no right to be alive. Oscar pulled some space magic, and well, I mean that because because I GM rolled a roll because there was only a percentage chance what you were doing was going to work. You needed a 20. It was a 25% chance.
Oh shit! Really?
And I rolled in the 10th percentile. So yeah, there was an act of whatever greater being you worship was caused here today. However,
Oscar will wonder to himself how on earth he did that later.
Yeah, like, it's especially for one so not unskilled but so new to biopsionics.
Yep.
It's definitely something you should not, like, you had no business doing, but, you know,
right.
Sometimes
so that's
the dice fall where they may.
The first instance where he had attempted that, and it was a total shot in the dark. Like, well, I've seen people do this.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen this on TV.
I can, yeah. Here, hold my beer.
Yeah, it was a hold my beer moment for sure. So yeah, that's Felix's status. Essentially, crew-wise, he is going to be a drain on your resources right now. He's going to require attention, food, water, and obviously life support. So the ship's resources are going to be drained slightly bit faster than they normally would be.
But he's not dead.
Not dead.
I think Gogo turns to Dr. Fisher and just says, do whatever you can to keep him alive till we get him to a real doctor. And then she like walks out.
I mean, I still feel like absolute crap, so I don't have the energy to even retort. But yeah, I kind of hook up a drip to him and yeah, just try to make him as comfy as possible. And then I think I just have a look at how Chan is then doing.
So Chan is your long-term patient here has had a lot of things wrong with him for quite some time. And you've gotten him out of the exosuit, and the wounds that he's received, you could tell would kill someone 2 or 3 times over. But because Chan doesn't really bleed, per se, that's not the way he acts. Now, Dr. Fisher, did you witness any of the feral tendencies? You were a little removed from what Chan was doing most of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you did witness any of the feralness that Chan had been experiencing.
Unless Gogo actually says anything, then
Go ahead and go drop some stuff off at her room. She's fine. She's back.
No, I was picking something up. So Gogo comes back in like a couple of minutes later, and sets up her like ancient radio that she always plays super duper fucking loud in her room that has dust all over it and crap, but like she clearly has moved it this one time ever. So she finds a place, she's like unplugging like medical stuff to try to plug this in.
Something stops beeping.
She notices it's attached to something important. Perhaps she won't, but like a light goes off or something in the med bay. And so she plugs it in. And before she like hits play, she turns over to Fisher. Just like glances at Chan.
Chan always seems to defy expectations.
He was his eyes were all black and he growled at me, Fisher. He wasn't himself. It took a lot to get him back. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Does that sound right to you?
I just open my eyes wide and did he try to attack you?
No, he just passed out and fell into my arms. Gogo kind of looks away.
I may have less time to complete my research than I first thought, Miss Gogo. Because I think I just try to kind of stitch up all of Chan's.
So mechanically Chan's at -8. His unique physiology allows him to go negative. Technically Gogo's does too, but she doesn't know that yet. So his unique physiology allows him to go negative, but the problem is once you start going negative as you're a Pylosian zombie, your mental capacity begins to diminish, and the only way to really recover that is to essentially get back out of the negative so that your body is not taking up, like, think of it as in FTL, because I played a lot of that over the break. Think about an FTL. You only have a limited amount of power from the reactor. That can only power certain systems. And if most of the power is having to go into the body, it leaves far less power to work on the brain. So you're going to have to figure out a way to depower the body by fixing it, so that the brain can function normally again. And you would know that based on your research and your acuity here, but it's the act of doing it that's going to be a larger ask.
Mm. I
Um,
mean, technically, if I how a system should work, should being the big, it should
Right.
naturally repair the entire body. But yeah, I think I'm going to actually pierce the blue film and then immediately start.
yeah,
using-
so one of the things here, right, is that Chan could recover naturally, right? You could strap him down for 8 days and allow him to recover naturally. The problem is, as long as he's still negative, he will remain more and more feral.
Yeah.
So, you'd have to keep him restrained in the med bay for 9 days until he was at 1 health. And that might be loud and obnoxious for those trying to get some sleep, and or deadly to everyone on board.
Yeah, I bring out I guess 3 med packs that I have in my bags and around.
Okay.
And start performing surgery on Chan.
All right. So why don't you roll a tech med with dexterity in this case, because he's got physical wounds.
Can I assist?
You absolutely can if you would like to roll that same check. And if you get I think just a basic success or higher, +1.
If this is surgery, can I use my scalpel?
Yes. In fact, you will need your scalpel to pierce Chan's skin. Or
got
at
a
least in
basic
certain places.
success.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can have so that's a total of a +3, Dr. Fisher, to your tech med dexterity roll. You might only need the 1 med kit, depending on how good you roll. Nice.
11.
So can you roll 3d6 for me? And try and get over an 8?
Lol.
Technically, so technically that's enough, right? He's stable at 0 hit points.
I mean, that's just so perfect. It's just so perfect.
It's stupid perfect.
Oh god. Okay. So technically he is stable at 0 hit points. So after the course of 24 hours, he will regain 1 hit point and should be normal Chan again.
Yeah, I think I glance over at Felix, and I think I decide that, yeah, Chan should be completely stable at this point, and
Okay.
we should reserve as much medical supplies as we can.
Yeah, because I think the group is rapidly running out after the past couple of missions.
Yeah.
Need to find some restock. So cool. Everybody being completely stable, totally fine in all ways, shapes, and forms, of course. That surgery probably takes quite a few hours for the two of you to complete, because he was really fucked up. So while he's doing that, I want to know what Fortune and Oscar are doing during this period of time.
From the time I dropped off the body that was known as
The body
Gogo's
former
dad.
known as Felix.
yeah,
Felix.
I was working with Oha to get us to the refill station so we could jump.
Okay, yeah, no, totally. Oha or you are perfectly capable of flying the ship. Are you gonna fly Gogo's ship again while that happens?
I sure am. I've done much more complicated maneuvers, and it was a success.
Perfect. So, before that, Oscar, you mentioned that you might want to go back and get something, right? Or are you foregoing that?
How much time do I have? Because you did mention this
So-
was an extensive surgery.
Yeah,
However,
it depends on when how fast Fortune wants to take off. The ship can be powered up and ready to take off in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes.
yeah.
Or, you could tell him, "Hey, hold off. I'll be right back."
I think Oscar is gonna chance it. Yeah, he's gonna go back and try and get that so that whatever
Yeah.
this sort of thing wouldn't sit well with Oscar if he knew that there was a way to make what Felix did not in vain.
Right, just literally come out here to almost die and then not do anything.
Yeah, so
Sure.
I think he probably goes to the med bay himself
Mhm.
and like patches himself up, or at some point, at least goes and has somebody with free hands tend to him. He says, I'm gonna have to go back out there.
So it's probably in between the evaluation of Felix and the surgery of what's his name? Chan.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So like before surely because Oscar would prefer this order of operations, before Fisher is elbow deep in a zombie,
Right.
he'd like him to.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting all the equipment set up around Shan at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so at some point in there, he would. I don't know if you want to make another tech med roll.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to burn a med kit to heal yourself some, gonna take that tech med skill check.
Yeah, and I have a couple on me. I'll delete one off my own inventory for that.
Sure. Yeah, so tech med, you can't use your scalpel in this aspect.
No, this is a quick gauze stuffing.
Yeah, this is the original, throwback gauze stuffing.
The Fisher special.
Perfect.
Lol.
He does have a reroll, however, so
Nice.
Hey.
So roll 3d6. We'll see if
more than an 8.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Hey,
Is
it worked
that
that time.
enough for you?
More than an eight.
I mean,
Never
it's still
enough.
less than average, but yes. All right, cool. So Oscar, does that bring you up
Hey,
to
it's
full
enough
health?
to max me back out.
Yeah,
I don't care.
cool. So you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, Oscar? You head down the ramp again to head back out, and I think what I want you to do for me, as is appropriate in all situations.
You know what I'm also gonna do, Jordan?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I am going to pay my tax, so I have my skill back just in case.
Okay. All right. Cool. Can you roll a luck save for me?
Would that have been impacted by my having rolled that to sense danger impending?
No. I was gonna make you roll a luck save anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am just slightly lucky enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So if you had failed, there would have been some consequences for you going back out there all by yourself. However, you are lucky, and the carnage that you wrought on the in the caverns was enough to scare away all of the baddies that might come here. Because they did have one more baddie y'all didn't get to see. You guys never triggered him. I was gonna do it, but you got lucky, so for you. And you recover one of these egg-like weirdnesses. So, which cargo bay would you like to store that in? 1, 2, or 3? Not, well, I mean, 3 has Amelia. I don't know if you want to store it up there.
Whatever the most secure one is that doesn't also house Amelia.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably number... Actually, it's probably number 2. No, number 1. Because Amelia could just fall down. Alright, cool. You now have a giant egg-like thing. Cargo bay number 1.
Oscar is going to inform the crew over comms he will be hanging out there to keep watch on something.
Okay, yeah. You can move yourself down there. I have it in the cargo bay now. So Fortune, you're gonna power up the ship and take off. Can you roll me a piloting space with intelligence in this case?
No.
It's a cargo ship. Fighters or dexterity.
Remember to pick up the landing gear.
Under what? Where? What?
Piloting space with intelligence.
Vehicle space.
Vehicle space.
Okay,
I'm
vehicle
sorry.
space. That makes
Sorry,
more sense.
I've played way more Star Wars than any other RPG lately, and that's what it's called in Star Wars.
I did a thing.
You barely did a thing.
You remember to pick up the landing gear. It's not a smooth takeoff because you're in atmosphere, so it's a little weird. You know, there's some bumps. Dr. Fisher, you're probably going to make the first cut, and like the ship rattles a little bit,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
and like you stop yourself just in time, and like you and Go-Go exchange a look.
Go-Go like pauses for just the briefest of moments, and her hand goes to like, I'm sure she's wearing some sort of scrub, and she'd like to take it off and to run to the pilot deck, and she's like, ah. She just like stops and gets back to like helping.
Let's be fair, that was with a penalty. He did okay.
Yeah, that was with the
And-
-1. All right.
And the last scene of Thune that we see is the ship leaving the atmosphere and bursting into low orbit. And that's what a beautiful place to take a break.
Mm.
Good job, everyone. You survived.
We're not dead.
We collected all
one's
the
dead.
pieces of
Yeah.
our party and returned it to the ship.
Yes. All pieces are accounted for.
All components are together.
And
Indeed.
PCs.
Indeed. Okay, cool. So let's be back at 10 after. We'll take a little bit of an extra break here.
All right.
Be back at
good.
10 after, and then we'll get to travel and go drop off Amelia, who I'm sure Oscar is dying to talk to.
I'm just hoping that there's only one of her and that she's not irritated and that I'd like her off the ship as soon as possible.
Understood. All right, we'll be back at 10 after. We'll see you guys then.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. Stay tuned. Second half coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.